Hey, this is Onion, continuing our playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV Online. We are trying to find Iceheart and see what's going on with Shiva. Thanks for joining me.
There you are, Onion. Commander Leveilleur instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the third hail from Ul'dah, and for a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand, nary a moment ago, I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danifin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. Falls balls, my ankle is on fire. Caught my boot on a rock or something and twisted it as I fell. The others went on ahead through Danifin Pass. Hurry and you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. This snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find.
The tracks lead southeast.
Cyan. What are you doing here? The heretics? am not sure. There was a great-scaled beast, and, Yuyuhaz? I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest. And lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait, the merchant will be watching. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. I am through with listening to your excuses. We leave now.
How? The woods are crawling with those blue coats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates.
Well, stay with her, then, if you think you'll fare any better.
Now, there's no need for that.
There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet your lands ever thirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds, it has drunk deep.
No. I have done no wrong.
None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will. We shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation.
Damn it all.
Fancy meeting you here, Onion. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither? What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugadi and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection.
Master Alphino is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills. Skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete.
That is a most generous offer, Lady Yugadi, and one which I gladly accept.
Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching.
A comforting thought. Come, Onion. Let us wait inside for Captain Ilbert to return and deliver his report. Captain Ilbert seemed confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. Captain Ilbert. Your report, if you will.
Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us naught that we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes.
Go on.
You will recall the flame we first identified as being in the Ivy's employ. From him we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Fort Temps. He knew the precise route the caravan would take. And he sold that information to a merchant.
I think I can guess which one.
None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics.
Well, that is one mystery solved, at least. But what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask?
I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider then that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed.
You mean to say that the agent is among Raubon's innermost circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames establishment?
'Tis the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand.
To slip into a position of authority unremarked, and remain above suspicion all these years.
I, too, was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Uldaz was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsalo Minsa and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones, mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different, not so the Flames. Uldaz's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raubon faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks.
Indeed. And given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company.
A good deal easier then than now.
The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though the Monitors ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, 'twas not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Niall Van Darnus' ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have risked supplying Raubon with an army. 'Tis but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Ahem. Returning to the present.
Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking Flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long.
Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies.
Understood, Commander.
I shall send word to Sarah Merrick informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully, the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians.
It is time, Commander.
Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Onion. As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Nafika's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. My thanks for coming, Onion. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us to the Lotus Stand.
The Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Stand. Will you be joining them now?
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor. Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him. 'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartno dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust amongst the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Leminson S, for instance. Though Admiral Merovib outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. In likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Uldans scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Uldan society Telegi Adalji, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the Observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects. And by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Onion. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Kurthis, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy.
My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Listen well. The spy we have been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Elena Rai, Raubon's second in command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with the polearm had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest-ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Raubon chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. The Monitorists saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And 'twas no secret that they did not favor foreigners, Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the Alliance. Yet the Monitorists did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Ra I was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the Monitorists? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is Ra I's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Raubon attended the Council of Alliance leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless, on some pretense. She is up to something, mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames records for evidence of Ra I's guilt, but if we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks, every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely upon your eyes, Scion? You have my thanks. Let us go, then, and take care not to alert our quarry. Ra is headed in the direction of the Blue Badger Gate. With me, Scion. So, Ra has entered the Carline canopy. Meeting someone, perchance? Or could it be she means to board an airship? Pray look for her within. If she is not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there, and she may have seen something.
Euphemy is her name. I shall remain here in case Raw Eye reappears.
Onion full play. Such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? Ahem. A social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger, and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you.
Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you are sure she did not board an airship? Humph. She did not come back out, either. Where in the seven hells could she have gone? The roost. How could I forget?
Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some Mun-2E tonic? A cup a day imbues a man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Heh heh.
Perhaps another time, friend. Wait. That necklace, you are a shinobi of Doma.
The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows.
Thank the 12 for the Domans. Were it not for their unique talents, Raw Eye would have disappeared without a trace. Our hunt leads us to the East Shroud, Cyan. I suggest we follow Raw Eye's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to them while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweet Bloom Pier.
This way, my friends. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorn Hut. If Roel is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with her Garlean masters there.
An explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends at Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications, and we have installed them around the city-states. In so doing, we have made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Raw Eye would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move about Thanalan without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. 'Tis for this reason, I believe, that she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. The Alazan are a common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads.
As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts.
This is it. We need only make for Hawthorn's Hut and catch Raw Eye in the act.
My people report that our quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch.
The Ivy returns to the Gnarls whence she came. But perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters?
My countrymen and I shall lie and wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. Just beyond, Roel is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer. An Imperial intermediary, no doubt.
This is it. With me. Flame Marshal Eileen Raw Eye. You are under arrest for treason and espionage.
You were followed, you bloody fool. Damnation.
Humph.
You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle. But if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try.
What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelveswood? When last I looked, that was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers.
You would feign ignorance, then? Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now, come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had.
I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Even a warrior of Roeil's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then the people of Uldar will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Onion? So the Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen, and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. And speaking of talents, have you considered training in the art of the shinobi? You have the aptitude for it, I believe, so please give it some thought. Till next time, my friend. Welcome back, Onion. I understand that Alphino had a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against Alina Roeil? I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us naught to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust to the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum.
Alright, I'm going to pause it here and get back into the next one. Thanks for joining.